All right, what's up, people? Anybody watching this, what's up, what's up? So we're gonna be talking about the first mods that, personally, these are 5 mods that I would do to my cars. We're gonna be talking about the first 5 mods that you should do to any car. But these are my personal preference. Everybody has their own preference on what 5 mods to do. These are not specific to the 10th gen. I'll make a video on that later when I have done more shit to the 10th gen. These are the 5 mods that I'm basically going to do to the 10th gen, to the SI. And they are 5 mods that I've done to my previous cars. So, alright guys, so for number 1, the thing that I would say that you should do on any car, any vehicle, well, not any vehicle, but on a car, like a sports car, sports trim, would be the suspension. So there's coilovers, there's airbags, there's lowering springs, there's a whole bunch of shit you can do to change up your suspension. Currently, I'm on springs. On my previous car, I had springs, then I upgraded to coilovers. So you could start off with springs. That's the cheaper alternative. That's what a lot of people do. You could go with coilovers later, or just ball out and do coilovers, or ball out and do airbags. But it's all personal preference, man. Like you could choose what you want to do. You could choose between airbags, coilovers. It's all what you find that'll fit your needs. If you're trying to if you're going to track your car, I believe you should get coilovers. If you're gonna go for a show car and you're trying to get that good fitment and not deal with heating everything or messing splitters up or lips or body kits up, go with air suspension. It all depends on what you want. Everybody's gonna want different things with their car. Everybody's doing different builds, and just do, all I'm gonna say is, with any of these mods, just do you. Do not listen to anybody else on how to build the car, unless it has to do with, like, oh, you're doing this wrong, like you're installing a part wrong, it goes like this, or oh, you should have installed this way. But if they're telling you, oh, you should have gotten this, you should have gotten that part from that company, or oh, you should have done this instead of that, or a waste of money, nah bro, just do you. Honestly, that's the issue that I've seen around in the scene, but that's a whole nother subject. All right, but just do you. Buy the shit you want to buy, make the car how you want to make it look. You will be judged. Everybody is judgmental in the fucking world, so who cares? But all I'm gonna say is, just buy what you want, do what you want, and that should be the first thing, honestly, to any car. Like that's the first thing that I would do to my car, and it is the first thing I did to this car. Not really the first thing, but suspension. I would always do suspension. The cars look way better when it's a little lowered and no wheel gap. So always try doing suspension, guys. Suspension makes a difference. All right, suspension makes a difference. All right, guys, so on to number 2. What I would feel that would go right after with suspension would be wheels and tires. Rims, tires, wheels, whatever the hell you want to call them, bro. Rims, líneas. In video games they call them rims, so I don't know, man. It's rims, wheels, it's used loosely. It doesn't really matter to me, man. It's not a big deal. But anyway, so I have currently on my car, I got wheels. They're called MB Battles, and stock wheel size was an 18 by 8. This wheel size is an 18 by 9. I'm trying to go 18 by 9.5 with the next wheels that I get in the future. And the tire setup I'm currently running is 225 40 18, which it fits perfectly, makes the car look great. And they're Federal 595 SS Super Steel. They're great, no issues at all with that. All I'm gonna say is they're grippy as hell, bro. They're freaking grippy. You gotta look at fitment. You don't want your wheels sunken in all the way. But the main point with this second mod is that it'll go perfect if you just lower the car. If you just lower the car and then you get wheels and tires, nice. I know a lot of people, I know some stock cars like this one come with 18-inch stock alloy wheels, and then a new wheel setup, and it's like a bigger size, like the stock ones on here are 18 by 8. Then I went to an 18 by 9. So the tires, technically the tires do fit on on those new wheels, but don't overdo it, because some people, the tire ends up being too stretched. So don't overstretch the tires unless you're going for like a crazy ass static setup and you're trying to go Stancy boy or some shit. But just research on the fitment, research how the things fit, and there's a website out there. I forgot the name actually. I'll link it below. There's a website out there that you could look at pictures of how tires fit on wheels. Go to fitmentindustries.com. They have a lot of cars there. That's what I was looking at for this one, because I was wondering if my wheels that were on my previous car would fit this car perfectly, just with a fatter tire, and that's what I did. So that'll be the best second mod in my opinion to match the suspension, because once you're lowered and then you got a little fatter meat on the wheel, a little bigger wheels, it helps with handling, helps the car's the aerodynamics, how it feels, and it'll just be great. Honestly, any car looks dope as hell, just lowered and wheels and tires. That's like honestly my opinion. Any car with wheels, tires, and lowered suspension looks good. It doesn't have to be slammed, but just get rid of that wheel gap and bam, that shit looks sick as hell to me already, man. Like any car. It could be a Prius, doesn't matter. It should look already good to me. All right, guys, so the third thing would be to get a damn exhaust. Me personally, I like loud cars. Currently, this car is not what I want. It is super quiet, like legit. This car, you can't even hear it. If I put it in sport mode, it turns on these speakers that make it go crazy and make it sound like it's loud, but it ain't loud. And I'm like, man, what is this shit, you know? If you upgrade your exhaust, there's different ways you can go about this. There are either cap back, axle back, front pipe back, or just a full thing with the down pipe and everything. Get rid of your cat, get rid of the catalytic converter. Or there's a muffler delete. You could do muffler delete, or you could just go ahead and buy the downpipe first, keep the stock exhaust, that'll make it louder already. You could just do muffler resonator deletes, that'll give you a good sound. Or you could just buy the axle back system, and that'll sound pretty good. It all depends what you're going for, and the prices vary on that. Like the prices could go from as cheap as $200 for an axle back system, to go all the way up to $1,000, over $1,000 for a full catback or full exhaust system. It's crazy, man. You know, I was looking at exhaust for this car, and the prices, they're pretty expensive, but I'll see what I do with my car. I'll see what I do. You can also take off the OEM muffler and put a new muffler. There's a lot of mufflers people sell, or change the tips. You could do so much with the exhaust, get different noises. There's vibrant resonators out there. There's a whole bunch of different stuff out there that you could just swap out and get, which I kind of learned how that works with my previous car. I know I mentioned my previous car a lot, but it's because that's the car that I had modified to the fucking max, bro. It's super modified. You go check out that video of what I've done to it and what happened to it, because it's not how it is anymore. But anyways, with the exhaust, there's so many different ways you can modify it to get a different tone, sound deep, sound to make pops, and all that shit. Like there's different things you can do to the exhaust setup that involve the downpipe, headers, anything. Exhaust system would be the third thing I do, and that is what I'm looking to do next on this car. All right, guys, so the fourth thing, it would be an intake, cold air intake, short ram intake. What is it called? It's like an air ram intake that you delete like a fog light, or you delete or you open up a headlight or something, and then the air it shoots in through there and travels through this piping you create or that you buy and goes straight into the intake, and it provides a colder type of thing. I think Hellcats are starting to come with those now, and there's a lot of people that do a fog light delete, and it has that little cup thing right there, and the air goes in through there when you're driving. When you hit the throttle, it goes in through there. But the issue with cold air intakes, and maybe even those ram air intakes, if they're all the way low down there, is hydro locking. You know, you could get a hydro shield, but it's not going to protect you if the whole intake filter is submerged in there. So I suggest, if you live somewhere where it is super it rains and there's flooding all the time, and you know there's big puddles where you go when you're driving, don't go for a damn cold air intake if you know you're gonna hydrolock that shit. Or just keep the race car at home and get another car. But then that defeats the whole purpose of these top 5 mods, because these top 5 mods are for any car. If you want to, well, actually you could daily the car, you could race the car, anything you want to do. But for me, it's a daily driver, this one. So these are the top 5 mods these are the top 5 mods that will benefit anybody trying to daily drive their car and wanting it to look cooler, sound better, and have a little performance out of it. Like I said, a cold air intake, you can, if it gets submerged in water, you're gonna mess that thing up and you're gonna hydrolock your engine and mess something up. So I suggest you get a short ram intake if you know where you live there's a lot of flooding and a lot of water, or it rains a lot. I don't know, but like me, I live in desert areas, so I might do a cold air intake for this car. With an intake, not all of them have power. A lot of short ram intakes get heat soaked, and a lot of issues occur with that. You're gonna start messing up with the engine, and then it's gonna start being like, wow, you get me? So do not get a short ram if you know you're gonna just be heat soaking the shit out of that filter. All right, make sure you know what you're doing, do your research, get the right intake. All right guys, so the 5th and last thing that I would suggest as a first mod for any car would have to be some type of aerodynamics. Me personally, it's a front lip. For you, it could be a spoiler, it could be a diffuser, it could be splitters, side skirts, front bumper extension, front side skirt extension. It could be any of those things. But me, I'm gonna be talking about a front lip. All right, that's what I already did to this car. Front lip, it looks nice, makes the car look aggressive. Any lip, you can make the car look more aggressive. On some vehicles, they don't make lips for them, so you know, if you can't get a lip, you might want a spoiler, you might want a duckbill, you might want a tail, something different, guys, something different. They add aggressiveness to the front. It makes the front look lower. It adds a style to the vehicle. Basically, with these 5 mods, you're getting some performance with the intake, some performance with the exhaust. You're getting looks with the front lip. Honestly, with these top 5 mods, you're basically touching everything. Performance, looks, handling, power. You could get suspension first, you could get an exhaust system first, do a muffler delete first, you could get an intake first, you could, whatever the hell you want to do it how you want it, you know? I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just suggesting that these top 5 mods should be the first things that you should do if you're into the car scene and want to make your car look better, make it look cooler, make it maybe break some necks here and there. You know, these are the first few things you got to do, and I suggest do it right the first time and don't mess it up, because if you get some cheap parts, I'm sorry, but they're not going to last you a long time on a car, and especially on a brand new car. Don't cheap out on parts if you can't afford them, bro. Save up, work hard, and get your shit right, man. Do it right the first time. That's all I gotta say. Because if you cheap out, that's not on me, that's on you. And I learned that the hard way too. Just understand that, guys. Those are the top 5 mods that I would do to any car. Like I said, it would have to be, not in any particular order, but it would have to be the suspension, lower the car bit, wheels and tires, get more handling. There's also tires you can get. There's a whole bunch of good tires out there. If you're getting wheels, you might as well get the tires. I know a lot of people stick with the OEM tires because they fit, but you know, just do it right. But yeah, guys, so suspension, like I said, and then the wheels and tires, and then you got exhaust. Make the car sound more aggressive, louder, however the hell you want it, I don't care. But that's just the 3rd mod that I suggest. The 4th mod, intake. Intake system adds power to most vehicles. Not on the short ram, doesn't really add power. The one that adds power is the cold air intake. Cold air intakes add power. And then aerodynamics, whether it's a front lip, front splitter, side skirts, side skirt extensions, side splitters, diffuser, a spoiler, a duckbill, a tail, whatever you want to get, man. That's just the 5th thing that I would do to the car. Some type of aero. Usually it's a front lip for me, and it makes the car from the front look more aggressive to me. I installed mine and it was dope, easy install. So like I said, guys, these are top 5 mods for any car, not any particular car. So like, share, subscribe, comment. Hope you liked the video, and stay tuned for more content on the SI. And peace out, bros. Peace out.
Now you can check the whip and peel. Damn, this nigga is ill. Gear shifting smooth as butter. Cut in and out of lanes undercover. Style, wow, my mirror, the rear view. You can never fly by, homie, I will see you. Mach 5, change terrains if need be. Thou shall never floor pass. I would the ID before you act on.